have the internet, but ozone was just as big as climate is today. Like, you would hear it everywhere. Ozone, ozone, ozone. Like, that's all you would hear.
History. What scientists are telling us now is that the threat of an ice age is not as remote as they once thought.
Sandam City.
Sandam. I think the only city I ever heard of was Amsterdam. That's the only city. But you're going to go down there and discuss how to better utilize the resources for a lot of the local businesses, and talk about climate change and pollution and how to better utilize landfills and trash and recycling and things like that, right?
Yes, that's basically it. I'm excited to go there, and I have 5 minutes to talk and get some questions about it. But yeah, it's trying to make people aware of the changes that are going on, and also try to actually provide some changes within the council members to just choose to better the future of the country, of another country, of Sandam, but as well as the country, and just in the future of the planet, to think about that. And yeah, that's my take. So
well, like I was asking you about, like, do you actually believe that the earth is heating up? You believe in climate change and all these issues they talk about, and then you sort of you pivoted over to pollution. Now, I'm with you on pollution, and that, we need to do something about it, and it's a problem, but I don't believe that the earth is heating up, man. I'm just not buying it, man. And if it is, it's not man-made, and I think the earth is actually cooling down. I don't believe it's heating up. But hey, that's me. But you're a true believer.
Cooling down. Can you explain why you think it's cooling down?
Well, before we started recording, you were going into, you asked a question like, hey, didn't the earth cool down at some point? Didn't you ask that? Like, didn't it cool down then heat back up?
Yeah. No. Well, yes. Both are true, and any way you want to put it. We did go through an ice age, then earth heated up, and ice age again, I guess. And I think we might be going through something like that, one of those cycles. I think regardless of what we do, we're gonna have global warming. It's not man-made per se, but we are helping. We are helping in terms of bringing. How do you say, like, unbalancing? We are doing a good job on unbalancing the world. Okay, either this way or that way, meaning over depopulating areas where we're supposed to have like a big amount of trees, or I think
yeah, because I've heard they have to cut down some trees so they can have more wind farms. Yeah, because the wind farms are good for the environment. So you got to cut down the trees so they can put more of those turbines up. Yeah, geniuses.
What they do over here in the Netherlands, they put them at open sea, so they drill holes in the sea and put down cement and all that stuff to build the wind farms, actually. But still, the question is that the positive way to go? I mean, going electric also means using some resources, also means using new stuff that you didn't have before.
Here's my thing. Yeah, sorry about that.
Go ahead.
No, I was gonna say, like I said, pollution is an issue, but the globe heating up, I'm not buying it, man. I'm just not buying it. And the thing is, it's like, if you guys been around long enough, they always come up with something. There's always something to be afraid of. Like this video I'm gonna play here, right? I'm gonna just play this, a real quick video. I think it's only like 2 minutes. And this is Leonard Nimoy. I mean, I know you guys none of you guys aren't really American. Well, I mean, Angel, you are American, but you're not born here. And so a lot of these cultural references, you don't get them. But this is Leonard Nimoy. You know who this is, right? Spock.
And I'll let you know
about his name, by the way. But
Spock, Star Trek.
oh yeah, Spock.
Yes. Angel, you know Spock, right? You never watched Star Trek. Okay.
No problem.
Times in the past million years, it has advanced and retreated with clockwork regularity. If we are unprepared for the next advance, the result could be hunger and death on a scale unprecedented in all of history. What scientists are telling us now is that the threat of an ice age is not as remote as they once thought. During the lifetime of our grandchildren, Arctic cold and perpetual snow could turn most of the inhabitable portions of our planet into a polar desert.
In 1977, the worst winter in a century struck the United States.
Yeah, and that's before you guys. That's before my time too. But growing up here in like this area, like people will still talk about it to this day how bad this winter was.
Wait. That video was in 1977.
This would have been like a little bit after 1977, because they're talking about the blizzard of 1977.
Okay, I was about to say they got good cameras for 1977.
This is like back in the 70s at some time. This is probably 78, 79 or something, probably early 80s.
That's pretty good quality for that time.
Arctic cold gripped the Midwest for weeks on end. Great blizzards paralyzed cities of the Northeast. One desperate night in Buffalo, 8 people froze to death in maroon cars. Pat Bushnell was on the road that night.
Traffic just absolutely stopped. I was afraid of being stuck in the car all night long with the cold and the wind, running out of gas. And then what? I think that if we had to go through...
And not only that, but like a few years ago, they got hit with another big storm. And you heard about the same thing, people freezing in their cars, all that. But the reason why I play this is because back then, back in the 70s, it wasn't global warming. Everyone was talking about global cooling. And they were telling people that, hey, a new ice age is going to come, and we're all going to freeze and the glaciers are going to come back. And Angel, I don't know if you know this, but you live, we live right outside of Buffalo. And so you heard about how Niagara Falls and how the Great Lakes and all that was created, right?
No, but I'll tell you this. I did hear about this this winter. They mention it all the time, and around here at least.
Yeah.
And that's how I found out and heard about this. And the other thing is that I do know that dude. I never watch Star Trek.
I mean, yeah, you see them around.
But I seen them around. Yeah, and I know the little things that I got in there too.
Yeah, but what I was saying was like the Niagara Falls, that waterfall, and all the Great Lakes, it was created by glaciers. At one point, this whole area was covered with ice. Like, I think they said it was almost like a mile of ice, like it was that deep. I don't know if it was a mile deep. It was pretty deep. Like, these were glaciers. They reached all the way down to the middle of America. And that's an ice age, man. And when people say the Earth is going to heat up, if you ask me, what would I rather have the Earth do? Heat up or another ice age? I would take my chances with the Earth heating up, to be honest with you.
Really?
Yeah. You're talking about glaciers all the way down almost to the equator? Like...
Yeah, everything would die.
Yeah, I would rather have some heat, because you got to think about it. If things heated up, you will have the Arctic and all that. That land will start to open up, and people can live there. Russia will warm up, all that.
Yeah, but that also means the rising of the ocean levels, right?
Yeah.
I don't know how much.
Not only that, wouldn't that be just buying time for us? Because if it started heating up, I mean, eventually it's gonna get like hot to a point that if we don't find a solution or a way to work around this, we're gonna be fried anyways. So
I don't know, man. I don't know about that. They always like
we're gonna get massive fire.
Like you said, I mean, the Mars is just an example of that. It's just kept heating up, and right now it's unlivable.
Yeah, you mean Venus, right?
And then,
and the reason why I correct you on that, Nagayan, because Venus is the planet with all the thick clouds, and then they say, oh, that can happen to Earth, right? We can have these greenhouse gases that trap the heat. But what about Mars? Mars, the exact opposite happened, where the magnetosphere, it failed, or the core cooled down, so it couldn't generate a magnetic field. So the solar wind stripped away the atmosphere over millions, if not billions of years. And this happens on Earth too, where we slowly lose our atmosphere because the solar wind strips it off. So you could run into a situation where the Earth sort of goes like Mars is, where our atmosphere gets thinner and thinner, and it can't hold in the heat. I've heard some people make the opposite argument, that by releasing the CO2 and releasing methane, we're actually helping maintain the atmosphere that's being stripped away by the sun anyways.
But okay, then
it's just a theory. It's a counter theory, you know.
Yeah, I don't know how it fits, but then what is the ozone? The ozone is actually the thing that keeps bad out and the good in, or something like that?
No. So do you guys remember the ozone scare of the early 90s? You guys were too young for that.
Yeah.
So in the early 90s, just another thing, it's like when you've been around for a little bit, they always come up with something. And back in the early 90s, I remember being a little kid, I was scared about this. They were telling us that aerosol cans and refrigerants that were going into the air, it was dissolving the ozone layer. And what the ozone layer does, it's like a layer of oxygen. It's like 3 oxygen atoms combined to make ozone. And what this does is it filters out ultraviolet radiation. And what they were saying is, if the ozone layer dissolves, that ultraviolet radiation will reach down to the surface of the Earth, and we'll get skin cancer because we're getting exposed to direct sunlight that's not being filtered out. And then you know what happens? It just goes away and people stop talking about it.
I think that's still a case in Greece where the ozone is.
Might be. I haven't heard nobody talk about that in decades.
But I'm just putting that in there because there's indeed, like you said, a lot of scares or a lot of things that are happening. If you don't look into it or research about it, you don't know actually what the tea is.
But the thing, back then, we didn't have the internet, but ozone was just as big as climate is today. Like, you would hear it everywhere. Ozone, ozone, ozone. Like, that's all you would hear. And then after ozone, I guess it was Y2K. That was the next thing. And nothing came of that.
Ed. Okay. But, well, I don't want to ruin the flow. You got something else? You're gonna be talking about this, so.
Yeah, so they will probably rebuttal with the same thing, or might be able to rebuttal with the same thing, and I would still say, like, this is something to be aware of, and not per se to rub it in people's faces or just to propagate scare or have people but be aware of where we are going. I think just awareness, and not per se that people have to be scared about it. I think what a lot of these propagandas have in common is that people, and the media especially, create a sense of ultra scare. Like it's a thing, but then it becomes way bigger than it should be, or I don't know how to call it, but it's a thing, yes, but we can do something about it if we do something about it, not if we go run scared and hide, or if we go to the corona pandemic. It's the same thing. I mean, here all the toilet paper ran out. Why? Why did the toilet paper ran out of the supermarket?
Oh, that happened there too?
Yeah, it happened there.
Oh, it happened in the Netherlands.
Yeah, it happened here too.
Oh, I thought that was just here.
Nobody understood why the toilet. What is so essential about the toilet paper? But basically, in the scare, people were just grabbing what they could, and toilet paper was the necessity in that time or in that sense. But instead of creating this sense of urgency that people have to run and buy toilet paper, just educate them about, okay, what can we do together to overcome this whole situation instead of running scared and amok. That's where my difference lies, in being able to provide certain answers for, like I said, I went quickly to pollution because yes, the climate is a big thing. Yes, the rising of the temperatures is a big thing. But if we want to, we can reduce it. If we jointly go out there and do something about it. But in the bigger picture, will it be enough? Will it ever be enough? That's a question you can ask, but only so many can answer.
I think pollution and climate, I would keep those separate. Those are two different things. Pollution is real. Climate, nah, I'm not about it.
Why is pollution real? Why?
I mean, because we see pollution, like you see, like especially like China, India, places like that. I mean, you can see like all the plastics and stuff that they put into the oceans, all that. I mean, it's there. I mean, it's apparent.
But the same can be said about global warming. We can see the imbalance.
No, I can't. No, we can't. You're making that up. We can't see that.
How is that? Glaciers are melting.
No, they're not. No, they're not. They went down there. Scientists actually went down there, measured ice cores. None of it's happening. All the pictures with the polar bears floating around, looking sad, faked, photoshopped, verified.
No, of course it's gonna be exaggerated, but the water levels are raising, right?
No, they're not.
No?
No.
In Holland, we have a strict measurement of the water levels, and they're
Yeah, I was gonna say the same about Mexico, but
like 5 millimeters per year.
Mexico is actually sinking, so it's not raising; it's sinking.
Yeah, Netherlands was always underwater. I don't even count.
Yes, I know. That's why we keep a close tap on the water.
The water, I do. It is not. No.
But okay, let me bring something in, because that pollution is real. What if, of course, looking at nature is all encompassing. We are part of nature, right?
Yeah, of course.
What if plastic that we produced, that we invented as humans, also part of nature now, is actually our invention to the planet to overcome? Like, the next thing that should be overcome is plastic, or another bacteria that tries to eat plastic.
Yeah, I've heard those were popping up, like that bacteria was adapting. I mean, my thing with the plastic is, I mean, the planet is going to be all right, man. I mean, it's us. You know, when this plastic is getting into our food supplies, getting into the water, you know, and then other animals and stuff, you got to think about them, you know. But, yeah. That's my issue with the plastic. The health.
That's it.
Yeah.
You can say pollution is part of nature as well.
No, I wouldn't say that.
How is that, Ryan?
I mean, it is, but I mean, it's bad though. I mean, it is a part of nature. You can say that, but it's bad.
How is it part of nature? I mean, not in the form that affects us in a negative way. You know what I'm trying to say? Like, okay, plastic, metals, and all these things are all around us. Yeah, that's true. But it's not until we combine these ingredients to make the plastic, and the way we dispose of this plastic, and the way we use this plastic, that it becomes a bad thing. So how is it a part of nature?
It is already part of nature, but it will become something that we will have to live with, or if not us, the next species, or the next...
Okay, but it's not natural. I mean, it's not natural for things that don't break down to be all over the place.
Metal doesn't break down. It oxidizes, but
It oxidizes and it breaks down eventually, right? But it does last longer. But what I'm saying about plastic, for example, the plastic is like we making the plastic, we make this and that out of plastic, right? And we dispose of it, and it's killing animals. It's causing pollution all around, like all around. That's not natural. We put it there. We invented this. We brought this, and it's in the way. The only ones that benefit out of these things, I mean, of course, there's exceptions. I always, see the exceptions, but the only ones really benefiting from these things is us.
No, well, we sort of until we start eating plastic and drinking plastic.
No. But what I mean is, like, there's no other creature in the world that's like really benefit. Oh, I'm glad we got these plastic bottles. I'm glad we got these plastic containers. You know what I mean? Like that's a little selfish. That's not natural. That's maybe I'm just not looking at it from the right perspective. But I just don't see how it would be natural. It's in the way. We are in the way.
that's exactly what a discussion about whatever topic it goes can go towards. I mean, what if plastic in the future won't be a problem anymore because we have found a solution of how to dispose of it or how to use it in a proper way?
Well, the solution to it is like you said, a parasite or something that breaks it down. Not like getting it all together in one place and burning it or anything like that. We will never be able to collect the amount that we are putting out there. So if there is something that naturally breaks it down, then a solution. But we don't have that.
Not yet, no.
So right now it's still a problem. It's not natural. That's just my opinion, of course. I don't know enough to. I don't know enough about these things to actually form a good argument. That's just an opinion, though.
Some bacteria will come up and it'll start eating the plastic. That's just what you're telling me. Well, it's already happening.
We need to be careful with that shit. Stop it. But I want to go back to something, okay? Only because I find it to be interesting that you would pick heating over cold. Are you interested in going on that, or we already took enough time?
I think we're good with this. 22 minutes, we're good.
Okay. 22 minutes, guys. It's a long video. But if you guys think it's worth for all three of us to pick one and actually go ahead and explain our story or how we thinking, feel free to say something, ask or suggest, or add to whatever we have been talking about. This is just random, only because Nagayan is going to be talking. Nagayan, you want to explain that?
Yeah, I will be talking tomorrow at the City Council, or State City Council in Sundown, and yeah, I'm looking forward to that. That's why we picked this topic, and we just went ahead with it to see how it went, and yeah, we like to see you guys' opinion about this, and if you have any questions or any comments you would like to share, just share it. You're more than welcome. Be respectful, and hope to see you in the next.
All right, guys.
What's up? Thank you.